I ran it.
Okay, so continuing on, the Tsung Fu, we're just going to review, because I know you've studied this and we've gone through it. We're going to just go through the next three yin meridians. Earth, spleen has how many points?
29.
No?
27.
21. Where does spleen 1 start?
Outside of
The toe. And where does it end? Right. And that's used primarily for pain.
Pain.
For pain.
Overall pain.
Overall pain. The peak hours of the spleen are? Peak hours of spleen are?
11.
Okay, now remember, let's just go over the horary clock so you know it like this. We have lungs, large intestine, stomach, and spleen. Now, lungs start at what time?
3.
3 a.m. Okay, so everybody together. Lungs, large intestine, stomach, and spleen. What time does spleen start?
11 a.m.
Try again.
3, 5, 7,
Sorry,
9 a.m. Yeah. See, this is why we've gone over it, but we have to go over it again. So it becomes like this. 9 a.m. When you go to work, it's spleen time. 9 a.m. Okay, for the general public. 9 to 5. Okay, general public. 9 to 5. And 5 p.m. is what? No, 5 p.m. Kidney. Remember, we're talking about time to leave. Okay, time to go. Okay, so we're just
Rush hour.
think about rush hour. Let's think about how we can remember this, okay? Everybody has a different way, and I'm just going to give you another way. I am a musician, so we're going to go a little bit outside of the box and not just give you the information. So let's just start from the beginning. Lungs, large intestine, stomach, and spleen. Lungs, large intestine, stomach, and spleen. And that lung starts at 3 a.m. and spleen starts at 9 a.m. Following that, we have heart, small intestine, UB kidney. Heart, small intestine, UB kidney. Heart starts at 11 a.m., right? Kidney starts at 5 p.m. Gotta go. So let's go do it again. Heart, small intestine, UB kidney. Heart, small intestine, UB kidney. Heart, small intestine, UB kidney. Let's go from the top. Lungs, large intestine, stomach, and spleen. Heart, small intestine, UB kidney. Now the last four don't rhyme.
Yeah.
And we're going to start with which one? Pericardium, right? Pericardium is at what time? 7. Okay, so 7. So we have Per San Jiao Ji B liver. Per San Jiao Ji B liver. Per San Jiao Ji B liver. Okay, so liver, gallbladder, liver are together, right? And liver is at 1 a.m. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little cross-referencing. What's at 1 p.m.?
PM is small intestine.
Small intestine, great. Okay, heart is at what time? 11 a.m. Rush hour, gotta go? Kidney. 5. See, it's good to know they have these, okay? 9 a.m. Going to work. Spleen. And that cock's-crow diarrhea that we spoke about in the morning, that's with the large intestine. 5 what? 5 a.m. And lung starts at what time? 3 a.m. Always say a.m. or p.m. What's at 3 p.m.?
Urinary
Bladder, UB. Good. Okay. So let's do it one more time, the whole thing. And lungs, large intestine, stomach, and spleen. Heart, small intestine, UB kidney. Per San Jiao Ji B liver. Okay. And you can do that more often, and you'll get it like this. And it's always great to have associations with it. Okay. We know that the pathway begins on the inside tip of the big toe. The spleen channel follows the inner aspect of the foot to the arch, then turns up in front of the inner ankle to spleen 6. And what do we have at spleen 6? What happens there? It's a meeting of all of the yin channels. Great. So it continues up the leg, just behind the bone, crossing the knee, goes up the anterior thigh from the inner border of the kneecap, groin, abdomen, meets the conception vessel, then penetrates the spleen and stomach. The main channel ascends through the diaphragm over the chest, crosses the lung channel, crosses at lung 1, and then it continues up the esophagus under the tongue, inner branch from the stomach region transports chi up to the heart. Okay, that's the spleen. The physical branches, quickly,
Lips.
right? I think of, okay, yeah, think of
Muscles,
MM
limbs.
with spleen, MM, muscles and mouth, muscles and mouth. You know, if you're saliva, lymphatic, okay? So you have to, you have to all find your own way on how to really know these, you know? And repetition and just, you know, spleen, you know, muscles, mouth, okay, right away, muscles, mouth. Okay, muscles, mouth, lips,
Lips
Ever make
lymphatic.
little pictures we did at
lymphatic,
school?
LL, lips,
MMLL.
MMLL, that's great. Okay, so we have someone who's MMLL, so muscles, not the ones you eat, unless you're, yeah, okay. Muscles, mouth, lips, lymphatic system, okay? Functions, I shorten it to TT, which means transform and transport. Good, what's the main indication?
Dampness.
Dampness, good. Dampness, blood, and diarrhea. We can do this as DD, dampness, diarrhea, blood, and any obstruction on that channel. Okay? Main functions. TT, transformation, transportation. It controls does the chi of the spleen go up or down? Up, ascend, okay? Because the stomach chi goes down, so spleen chi goes up. Spleen also controls the blood, as we know, because if it doesn't control it and also hold it, that's why a lot of people would get bruising, right? It's not held inside the vessel of the blood. It also controls the muscles of the four limbs, arms and legs. Opens the mouth, manifests into the lips, okay? Controls saliva or spittle. Saliva, okay? Also, spleen has the holding and raising, ascending function, okay? So it raises chi. It houses what? Intellect. Yi, yeah, the Y-I, intellect. And basically, its virtue is pensiveness. But we know with spleen energy and how we can get deficient if we're overthinking or if you're worrying too much, okay? Then we deplete the pensiveness into, you know, overthinking and overworrying, which depletes our energy. So the spleen governs transformation, transportation. So the ingested food and drink is transformed by the spleen chi. This is called gu chi, and is the basis and production of what? Two things. No. Again, gu chi is what? Chi and blood. Okay, just so we know. And there's many ways. Some people call gu chi food chi or ku chi, different things. Okay. So food chi together with the refined foods are called food essences. They're transported by the spleen to various organs and parts of the body. Okay? Now, when we deal with fluids, what happens with the fluids? The transformation and the transportation, the TT function. Okay, spleen separates them from the good, the usable, and the unusable. Clear. The clear goes up to the lungs.
Yeah.
What happens to the turbid? Goes to the intestines. Okay, remember it's all working here. Okay, so the clear goes up to the lungs where it's distributed to the skin and the couli, C-O-U-L-I, which is the areas between the muscle and the skin. Okay, couli. If the fluids are not transported or transformed properly, they will accumulate into dampness or phlegm and cause edema. Okay? Okay, good. So ascending chi, we need to know that spleen chi directs food chi upwards towards the lungs, okay? And to the heart. At the lungs, food chi combines with air, which becomes what? Gathering chi, zong chi, there's different words we can use. And at the heart it forms the blood. Okay, good. Spleen chi ascends and sends chi, food essences, and fluids up to the lungs then. Okay, so we all understand that. We also have to understand that there's function of the spleen and the stomach together, and in the Wang Di Ne Jing, they're all looked at as one organ, spleen and stomach. They work together. Spleen goes up, stomach goes down, but yet they have this function of unity and helping all the organs, other organs, the surrounding organs, have their function of either ascending or ascending. So they're kind of neutralizing and balancing, because they're in the middle, right?
Central.
And yeah, they're the central, and they help in the middle burner. They help the other organs. Okay. They control the blood. Okay, they keep the blood in the vessels, like I said. Remember when you go into old retirement homes, often you get a lot of the older people, their vessels are weak and everything. Well, we would say that that's, you know, the spleen qi is not maintaining its function of holding the blood. And sometimes even you give acupuncture to somebody and the blood will come out of the vessels. So that's weak spleen qi, okay? And it becomes what? It becomes a bruise. Okay, so we've said it controls the muscles in the four limbs. When spleen qi is strong, your four limbs will be strong, right? Your muscles will be strong. If they're not, you'll feel tired. They'll be weak, your muscles, and leading to atrophy. Okay, so make sure you know that. Opens to the mouth, manifests to the lips, another function of spleen. Chewing the food in the mouth prepares it for the spleen to do what function? That's right, TT. So we're repeating a lot of things, but it's with this repetition that you're going to really get it, and you're going to get this stuff, I know you will. Okay, so the sense of taste, the sense of appetite and chewing are all related to spleen qi. In fact, when we look at the questions, one of the main questions to determine what organ is related to that person's syndrome, for spleen it's appetite. What's your appetite like? If their appetite isn't very good, right away that'll give you something to do with spleen. Okay? Appetite is the big one for spleen. If their appetite is okay, you're looking, pretty healthy spleen, okay? Spleen, stomach.
Good appetite, but no taste, they couldn't taste things.
Well, then you have to, then we have to help with spleen, because that's part of it, right? Taste has to do with the spleen. Also, the lips reflect the blood. Okay, your lips reflect the blood. So when the spleen qi, okay, and the spleen blood are healthy, the lips will be rosy and moist. Again, a little bit of physiognomy where you read the face of someone. Okay, if they're really pale, you know that there's a blood deficiency, right? But if you see that the lips are nice and red, wow! So it's a healthy spleen. Okay, red and dry lips. I'm sure you've seen, especially sometimes in the wintertime, red and dry lips, and the presence of a sweet taste, sweetness, because sweet is the taste of the spleen, right? Mm-hmm. Sweetness, can show that spleen has heat. Okay? Again, like iridology, we're doing physiognomy, okay? You can read the eyes. Not like an iridologist, but you can, and you read the lips. You just look, what kind of lips do they have? Are they dry? Do they have a blister? If you have a blister on the tongue, what organ is it to do with? Heart. If you have one on the lips, what? Good, okay. Controls saliva. Spleen controls saliva. And the function of the saliva is to what?
Break down.
Aid in digestion and also moisten the mouth. Moisten the mouth. Okay. It's described, is it a turbid fluid, or is it a thick fluid, or is it a thin and
clear?
Thin and clear. Okay. In contrast to spittle, which is thick and it belongs to the kidneys. Okay. And the spittle is thick and turbid and thick, or thick and turbid, and saliva is thin and clear and thin. Good. Everybody got the difference between spit and spittle? Okay. Well, sorry, saliva and spittle. Right. Oh, God. Okay, good. Okay, raising of qi, the raising of qi, okay? The spleen qi energy is to lift, okay? Lift the organs and help them to stay in their correct places. And remember, it's the coordination of the stomach and the spleen which work together, which complement each other. Okay, if the turbid yin does not descend properly, right, yang will not be able to ascend. So if spleen qi is deficient and the raising qi is deficient and not working, if that function, there might be a collapse of various organs. We see a collapse of, what do we call it? What's the word that we used yesterday? Prolapse of uterus, or prolapse of some of the organs, okay? So very clearly the spleen has its function to raise, the energy goes up, okay, but also it helps keep and holding, it helps hold the other organs into place, okay? We said that it houses the intellect, which is what? Y-I, yay, okay, it helps, okay. So we know that the spleen has to do with overthinking, right, and worry. So if someone's overthinking, worrying, it might affect their appetite. All of those things go into spleen, qi deficiency, like a deficiency. That's not the virtue of spleen. But the virtue of spleen is actually intellect, okay, leading to wisdom. Okay, so it's pensiveness, perhaps even meditation, you know, where you're, you know. But the downside of that is just totally being restless, not being able to sleep, you know, overthinking, stress, all of that. Okay, everybody got it? Okay. Just going into that, worry will knot the qi. Okay, K-N-O-T. Worry will knot the qi. Okay, so K-N-O-T, not, like not the qi. Now, if the qi is stagnant in the middle burner, okay, and we know the stomach and spleen are in the middle burner, in the middle jiao, J-I-A-O, if it's stagnant, this will cause poor what? Digestion, right. Abdominal distension, poor appetite, all of that stuff, okay? Is that pretty clear? And you can elaborate on this even more, but right now we're just wanting to touch on the basics so you really understand the spleen energy. So the psycho-emotional aspects are, again, what we talked about, are intellect, but that has to do with thinking. It has to do with memory, intelligence, and ideas, right? So it's not just one thing, okay? It's responsible for directing the memories to the kidneys for short-term memory, okay? They actually say that the kidneys are your short-term memory, and they say the heart is your long-term memory, okay? Kidneys will later transform these, or transfer these memories to the heart for long-term memory storage. That's what the Chinese believe, okay? So kidneys, short-term memory, heart, long-term memory and storage. Okay. Positive psycho-emotional attributes for the kidney are trust, honesty. What else could it be?
Oh, jealous.
No, the positive. Balance. Okay. The negative attributes would be what?
Jealous.
Yeah, negative thinking.
Suspension.
Obsessions. Right? Because you're overthinking, you're obsessed, right? Excessive thinking, obsessiveness, addictions,
Not able to focus.
self-doubt, not able to focus. Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's good. Okay, we are going to be delving into all of the syndromes, the relevant syndromes for a spleen, but I'm just going to give you them just so it's not so new for you. We have spleen qi deficiency. There's spleen yang deficiency. Now, if someone has any type of yang deficiency, what would that mean? Give me just something that yang deficiency would mean. Cold limbs, yeah. Cold, aversion to cold, cold limbs. Good, excellent. So if I said kidney yang deficiency, cold, aversion to cold. Those are two things. If I said kidney, yeah, anything to do with yang deficiency, it's about cold. Okay, exactly. So spleen qi deficiency, spleen yang deficiency, spleen unable to secure blood. Okay, So that's where we have the bruising. The blood vessels are unable to hold the blood in the blood vessels. So the chi is not strong enough. It's deficient. It's not strong enough. It's weak and doesn't have the strength to hold the blood in the vessels. Okay? Then we have cold damp invading the spleen, cold damp. And if you have cold damp invading the spleen, what would be your symptom, one of your symptoms?
Damp, yeah. Probably diarrhea.
Diarrhea, well done, and loose stools. If you have damp heat invading the spleen, what would you have?
Smelly.
Smelly, yeah. Bitter taste, yellow urine, yellow face. If you have sinking of spleen chi, you'd have a prolapse. Good. Okay, well done. Okay, so our main concern for spleen then is that its TT function transforms and transports, okay? In chapter 8, the Suben states, the spleen and stomach are responsible for the storehouses and granaries. The 5 tastes stem from them. So the spleen is not only the central pivot of the 4 types of chi, they say it is the pivot between yourself and the world. Okay, so if the function is to transform, this one I wanted to read for you. Function is to transform substances that are not of you into substances that are you. Okay, so that's again, one more time. Its function is to transform substances that are not you, like food and drink, into the substance of you. Okay?